Steel and aluminum tariffs are back in the spotlight, this time doubling to 50%. The hike took effect just as President Trump gave America's trading partners a hard deadline. Submit your best offers or brace for more tariffs by July. Supporters say it's the kind of economic pressure needed to force fair trade, but critics say this aggressive play may backfire, hurting some consumers. Here to break it all down is Brandon Arnold, the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union. Hey, Brandon, always good to see you.
Good morning.
So what are your thoughts here? The new tariffs on steel and aluminum imports kicked in on Wednesday, the same day President Trump, the administration here, asked for these trading partners to make these deals. What do you think the short-term, long-term impact will be here?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we'll get to a relationship with our trading partners to lower tariffs, to open up markets for our manufacturers and our farmers and so forth. But if these tariffs do indeed take effect, then we are looking at significantly higher prices. Automobiles could go up by several $1,000s in price. Things like beer, washing machines, a lot of things contain metal, and almost all those things will increase in price, including, I'll add, things like factories. We want to build up our manufacturing capabilities here, but guess what? The machinery, the structures, all the things that go into factories, a lot of those require metal, and those will be more expensive to build here on U.S. soil.
You do have some union workers who are applauding these tariff increase. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this benefits certain workers, but it hurts a lot of other workers. And if you look at the steel industry itself, yeah, there are gains to be made there. Those jobs are numbered in the thousands. The downstream workers, the people that use steel and aluminum to build stuff, those workers number in the millions. And those people stand to lose considerably if markets dry up abroad and we can't sell cars and airplanes and washing machines to other countries because they are cost prohibitive to do so.
So what do you think about this? President Trump is reportedly looking at other parts of the trade law to expand his authority to impose tariffs kind of unilaterally, even after court rulings aimed at kind of limiting that power. What other legal tools do you think that he has at his fingertips that he could use?
Yeah, there are a few other sections of trade law that he's going to certainly try to utilize. In fact, Section 232 is what he's using on the steel and aluminum tariffs. There are other provisions, Section 301. Without boring you with all of these numbers, the problem for the Trump perspective here, of course, is that all of these provisions have certain limitations. Many of them require lengthy reports to be drawn up. Some of them have finite amounts of time that tariffs can be in place or limits on the rate of tariffs. So Trump would rather have as much power that he can. That's why he used the section that he did. And it remains hung up in courts as to whether the president actually has that authority or if, as the Constitution says, it's vested in the Congress.
Well, we talk about perspectives here, and you have this perspective when it regards to the tariff strategy. You're concerned it could wipe out the economic gains from the one big, beautiful bill. Why?
Yeah, if you look at the models that say there will be growth from the one big, beautiful bill, more economic expansion, job creation. But if these tariffs in their full form take effect, it could wipe out those gains. It could more than wipe out those gains even. We could see negative economic growth because they are so devastating, especially to lower income Americans who can least afford price increases, particularly after 4 years of seeing dramatic price increases for groceries, utility bills, and so many things that we need.
And how should the U.S. be working with our allies, you know, in the Pacific Rim? You talk about Japan, Australia, different places, when it comes to putting pressure on China, basically for some of these international trade practices.
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, you look at the trade agreement that Trump reached with China in 2020. They violated that. Now Trump is frustrated. They're violating yet another agreement when it comes to rare earth minerals and so forth. The problem is China will continue to ignore some of our trade agreements and to violate them unless we use multilateralism here. And that is using our allies, our friends, our trading partners across the globe to collectively put pressure on China to follow the rules of the road. If we don't go down that path, I think we're going to continue to be disappointed by China's actions.
Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Angela.